Hello. Hi, Claire. Hi, Reagan Crabtree. I'm kind of waiting. Got the mute there. Thank you guys for coming, and you're a little hyper and anxious, Reagan. Yeah, coffee will do that for sure. I know. I really wanted to have my coffee as we were doing this book discussion, but I've had too much already today, so I won't, because I won't be able to calm down for the rest of the day. So yes, I had to delay this a little, and I appreciate those of you who can be here. Claire, you did have a little bit too much espresso at your last live. However, I think it was just because you had a really bad week, and plus, hopefully you didn't have a big crash after it, but it was so you were so giddy and like funny, and it was just nice to hear you be so silly. Dunkin', I can't relate. Dunkin' Donuts. I like good coffee, so I don't normally go there. Yes, I go to Starbucks sometimes. All the time. Yes, Starbucks. Okay, so we're going to go after or over chapters 5. No, we're not. 7 through 10. For some reason, I have a summary of chapters 5 through 6 up right now, and I'm not sure why. I'm going to try to mute for a second so you don't hear all my clicks, because listening back, it's just so annoying. Hi, Puddle. Thank you for being here. Okay, I just unmuted. It just seems, until I can figure out the best way to do sound, and please let me know if I sound muffled. I want to use my headphones with a microphone because there's a lot of background outside noise. But I noticed in my last live that I did when I was reading, it sounded very muffled. But I was using another device, so perhaps that's the issue. Not quite sure. Again, no one is obligated to, but if anybody would like to, you can join the panel if you wish. Dogs barking. Don't feel like you have to if you do not want to. I'm talking to you, Claire. Don't feel obligated. I can do this by myself. But I always love gabbing with people. Okay. Gonna do, thank you, Puddle. Sound okay. Thank you. I'm gonna do a little screen share. And sorry for the clicking. I have not yet found a microphone that works well with my laptop. Probably because I'm technologically challenged. I've hooked one up through USB, but my computer doesn't seem to recognize it. It is a cheap one, so that could be part of the issue. All right, let me see how I am sharing right now. All right, let's see if this is big enough. If not, I'll just let me go ahead and do the full screen. No need to see my face right now. I know. It's beautiful, but too much of a good thing, right? All right, so chapter 7. First of all, let me ask you guys before I get into this. So I guess I'll put it back to my face. How did you like these chapters? Did you feel that it was easier to read than the first, like 1 through 4 to 5, with all of the descriptive language and no dialogue? Or did you find it, I don't know, what was your opinion of it, I guess? I personally liked that there was more dialogue in it. But I do have to say, although incredibly wordy, I appreciate, as I have said before, his descriptions of everything, him being Hawthorne. He just has a way to describe something so mundane and so, again, like walking through a door or hearing a song. I apologize. My dog just wants to be part of the live stream. I just thoroughly enjoy it. You thought it was easier, more dialogue? Yes. I did too, Claire. Although, even though sometimes his dialogue can be very wordy itself, because he goes on to describe what someone's thinking, feeling, or wearing, or what that symbolizes throughout their discussion, as he did when discussing Phoebe's encounter with Colonel Pynchon. And if I am mispronouncing their name, you guys can blame the internet, because I thoroughly researched how to pronounce that last name. I was going to say Pynchon or something, but from everything I could find, it's pronounced Pynchon. So I'm not wrong, you are. The nightshirt. Whose nightshirt? I can't remember. Is it Hepzibah's? Okay. Let's go on again. Oh, Clifford wearing the same one from the photograph years ago. Yes. Isn't that a little weird? Did he wear that same shirt the entirety of his imprisonment? Did they ever wash it? And does it ever say how long he was imprisoned? I know it was for quite some time, but when did he, because he's an old man now, but when did he actually go to jail? Hi, Always Createful. Thank you for listening. Threadbare and worn out, just like the family. True. And I kind of have another question too. I guess I can get into the analysis whenever. We're not on a structured schedule here. If anyone is familiar, I'm sure Always Grateful is, and probably can describe it better than I. Christ-like figures in literature, that they're normally youthful, more like a savior. I don't pronounce it that way, so I'm not quite sure why I did it that moment. Maybe it's all the horrible accents I'm doing. I normally say a savior, maybe not that bad, savior. It seems as though, to me, Phoebe represents a Christ figure. She's youthful, innocent. Everyone she's around, everything she's around seems to take on, seems to have more life in it, become more alive, become less sad. I believe it, even the book described there being less cobwebs, less dust settling, which I've known before dust has symbolized like time. Dust covering things can allude to sins or secrets being covered. So I know that literally Phoebe was going around cleaning more, right? Didn't seem like Hepzibah ever had any pledge. But even still, I feel like that description of there being less cobwebs and dust settling was even more of explaining how Phoebe's presence was affecting the house itself. Let's see. Also, Claire says, also with Clifford too, he adds more life to the mundane, although Phoebe more typical as the, oh girl, I don't know how to pronounce that word, Enjuin? Enjuine? Enjuini? Let's spell it for those listening. Engenuine. I have failed the spelling test or the pronunciation test. I don't know if I agree. I guess Clifford definitely, I wouldn't say he represents a Christ-like figure, but I would say he definitely represents youth and innocence, but maybe even how our innocence can be taken away from us with life events, and how he's kind of stuck in that and cannot seem to move on, seem to accept that that time has been lost and he will not get it back. Hi, Nikki. Lurking while eating jerkins. What the hell is jerkins? I can't. Is that a cucumber? A pickle? Is that innuendo? No one knows. Yes, Nikki is very pickle obsessed, and we love her here, except when she mentions pineapple on pizza, because that's the devil and it's not allowed. I should really put pineapple pizza like a hyphenated or unhyphenated. Shouldn't be allowed on my channel. Clifford gives the women something to do and focus on. You're right, Claire. I I would say Phoebe kind of likes having someone else to take care of. She seems very nurturing, and so her care, I don't know that she really cared for Hepzibah as much as she cared for the duties that Hepzibah should have been doing or were attempting to do, like the scent shop. But Clifford seems to be someone for whom she cares for directly. His spirit, his companionship, because if you notice, which I'm sure you guys did, that when after Clifford eats his breakfast, he takes a little nap for a couple hours, and that's when Phoebe goes to the scent shop and Hepzibah tends to Clifford, and I'm saying that in quotations because I don't really know that she tends to him rather than to be like, all right, he's awake, your turn. Which, hey girl, I get it. Sometimes it's like that, right? Like, your turn, buddy. You take care of the children. I'm done. Tap out. So, yeah, everything seems to become more alive whenever Phoebe's around, the flowers, the chickens. And did you guys notice too how the chickens are not enclosed anymore? At least not in their pen. They're out and about in the garden. So becoming less confined, venturing out in the world, so to speak. And oddly enough, they like to drink the muddy, cursed, brackish water, brackish being part salt, part fresh water. They like it. And they like to eat the snails that seem to be in abundance around the cursed whale. Not in an, pardon me, I've become so verklempt. It's not an innuendo. I just flippin' love that. And horrible, horrible, horrible things that I will not I will not repeat. You'll have to see that later, Always Grateful. I'm sure you can guess what horrible things Nikki just said in our chat. Oh my, pickle and pineapple together. Reagan, I'm not sure. That may be even worse than pineapple on pizza. I'm trying to imagine it, the taste of both of them together in my mouth. I think I'd vomit. Yes, free roaming happy chickens, Claire. All right, I'm going to get back to the analysis. So yes, it's describing Clifford coming, the anticipation of the third place setting, Phoebe not knowing who it was, Hepzibah going through all the emotions of happy, sad, nervous, crying, snapping. Pardon me, I personally can relate to that, absolutely. When you're excited about something, but you're not quite sure how it's going to go, and there's a lot of anticipation, I can get snappy and weepy and get a burst of energy like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Oh, but what if this and what if that? And oh my gosh, and oh, we need to clean the whole house. You know, I feel ya. All right, so Sparks notes summary of chapter 8. That's not, we need to do chapter 7. Where did chapter 7 go? Oh no, I believe that's just the, my apologies. That's just the summary. Okay. Analysis. Clifford is is a figure shrouded by suspense. We kind of described that already. The actions that unfolded, the emotions that unfolded from Hepzibah before he arrived. When Clifford finally appears, however, he cuts something of an anticlimactic figure. He is almost delirious, a doddering old man, and capable of even looking directly at his sister. He shrinks with alarm at the smallest things. This homecoming is more tragic than the one Hepzibah's frantic preparations led us to expect. It's like a big womp womp. And it is made all the more pitiable by the fact that our expectations, like Hepzibah's, have been raised in Clifford's absence. Definitely been there before too. Had some expectations. Wasn't as exciting as I anticipated. It goes on to say the loss of the past, and I'll get back to chat in a moment, the loss of the past is a recurrent theme in the House of Seven Gables. But nowhere is it more poignantly expressed than in the comparisons between what Clifford once was and what he has become. When Phoebe was shown his picture in past chapters, she exclaimed that he was a handsome man, but we see no evidence of that here. Hepzibah's preparations also seem far too great for such a man, but most telling of all is the description of Clifford as a man who takes great pleasure in luxury and sensual pleasure. His eyes consume the beautiful with a hunger and ravenous as the hunger he brings to the dinner table, and it seems as if he is taking in all the luxury for the first time in years. Well, seems he is. Oh, which we will discover in later chapters to be the case. I thought we already knew that. I thought there was there was something that was mentioned maybe in the preface of the book or in the first chapters that he was away for the murder of the colonel, I thought. So I'm not sure why that would be a surprise. His feebleness has already given him an air of innocence. And then Judge Pynchon. That guy reminds me of some folks I've met before, especially down here in the South. They're just, sweetheart. They seem a little creepy creeper, and they look at you with a smile like they could kill you with their eyeballs, but while calling you pretty and don't get out of line. Yeah. I could easily imagine Judge Pynchon. I want to punch him in his little wee wee. Okay, so he loses any remaining respectability he had in our eyes through Hawthorne's decision to have the judge remain smiling, and it allows us to see how thoroughly he has disguised himself. It kind of describes too how he is very quick to regain his smile after showing his true self, his true evilness. Just kind of shows you how much of a disguise and how devious he is. He's always kind of putting out an ulterior or hiding his ulterior motive, I should say. He's putting on that he's this nice, generous person. Come stay at my house. I'll take care of you, Hepzibah and Clifford. And she's like, nope. And Phoebe's like, what are you talking about? That sounds amazing. She's like, no, for real. It's not. Trust me. Met people like that too, where they just seem so kind and anything is yours. What's yours is mine, yours, or something like that. And turns out they just were using someone. Hey, I was not muted. Sorry about that. StreamYard just dipped on me. I don't know what happened. If you guys can hear me now, let me know. I will type in chat. There might be a little delay. Yeah, I definitely got kicked out. I'm not quite sure what it was. I don't know for how long that was, so I apologize. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. I'm going to go back up to Claire's. I think one of the last things that I mentioned was that there's a description in Sparks Notes that reference to Judge Pynchon's eyes being black or red, apologize, is brings up a reference to hell and him being devilish. I didn't really pick up on that, but I guess that makes sense. Claire says, the judge is a very dark character to me. All the descriptions and the air of evil. But Clifford, his air and demeanor don't match the rumors of the act he may have committed. I agree. I think I've already figured out that part. I read ahead of something, unfortunately, so whatever. Whatever. It's okay. I'm still very much enjoying the book, and I'm sure there's a lot more to the story, more depth to the story than finding out who done it. let's see. One of these trees in my backyard, it's very windy here today. I'm not sure if that's picking up. I'm under a covered porch, so hopefully train. Could all the noises of the neighborhood please just start now? Any more dogs? Thank you, train. Thank you. Right on cue. Oh, thank you. Oh, and again, thank you. Ask and you shall receive, right? The dark side. We have cookies here. Yeah. All right. I have no idea what I was talking about. I lost my train of thought. So we're going to go ahead to chapters 9 and 10. And by the way, next week is just 2 chapters. It's 11 and 12. So this week was the last week that was 4 chapters. So a little lighter on our plate. Maybe I can even get into a little bit more research of the characters and that sort of thing. I just don't want to read too much ahead because, or read Sparks notes too much because I don't want to, yes, all the sounds. It's like I'm my own one lady show, you know, like those people used to have the drums and the harmonica and the toot and the whatever. I can toot for you if you like. Pretty sure you won't want that. Yeah, if I read too far into even Cliff or Sparks notes, it will give some things away. And this is my first time reading The House of the Seven Gables. If it's any of yours, just give me a thumbs up in the chatters. If you haven't read it at all, go ahead and flick yourself in the cheek because that's what I would do if I was there with you, because you should read it. And if at the very least, you should read the Sparks Notes version. You can it's a lot less wordy. It's a lot easier to read. And I'll let that pass. I'll give you a passing grade of a C if you read the Sparks Notes version and Cliff Notes. Because I understand. Hawthorne's a bit much, but I do really appreciate him. I can't tell him that because he's dead. I'm not quite sure he would even care. But you all do. So I'll tell you. All right, let's go back. Let's see what we got here. Right. My battery's at 10% and I don't have a way to plug it in out here. So, sorry, there's a tree that keeps creaking and it's freaking me out. Because I feel like either a branch is about to fall or there's some evil ghost about to right the wrongs of my past generations. There is a bee. Can you see it? I don't think you can see it a little bit right there. Hey, are you coming to be like, don't forget about me because I was mentioned in the garden. Okay, all right, I'll put you there. So there was a bee mentioned in the garden. Obviously, this little man or woman wants me to talk about. Yeah, the garden, Phoebe out there. I know in my English 101 class, we discussed or I was taught a lot about what certain things represent. There's more. Yeah, that was a bee. He just said, "Hey, how you doing?" He wants to be on camera. I don't know all of the symbolism. I don't know all of the words. I don't know a lot of symbolism, but I do know some. Or ways, maybe not even symbolism, but how an author will bring ideas, thoughts, people together. So one way where you can normally see here where most of the characters in a story, what they're thoughts are, if they're all on the same page, it'll normally be at a dinner table. There will normally be some communal place. And although we do have the breakfast table in this situation, I don't think that this is the actual communal space where we get to see all the characters mingling together and hear and see all their interactions together. If you had to guess, where would you think the communal space of the House of the Seven Gables is? The bee that just visited me is a hint. And this is just my analysis. I haven't seen anything yet. But I would say it's the garden. They have afternoons of the Sabbath there. You get a lot of foreshadowing conversations in the garden. It's where you get a description of the family throughout the chickens. The well is there, the elm tree. People congregate. You see the life blossom. I'm running out of words here. You see the progress from melancholy, gloomy, deteriorating. My dog is chasing something. And that transition from bad to good, so to speak, with the garden, the flowers, they're not moldy anymore. There's bees buzzing around. There's liveliness. Clifford really enjoys being outside. Singing, dancing, peacefulness. I don't know if they're singing and dancing. I know Phoebe sings. I don't know about dancing. It said something about Holgrave being like livening up the party. So he probably brought the booze. He just probably didn't want to write it in there because I'm sure there's like prohibition or something at that time. But Homeboy brought the Jello shots for sure. So I'm down to 7%. So let me wrap this up. Let's see. Going to go back to sharing. Yes, Claire, you're absolutely right. The garden is coming back to life as Clifford comes back to the house after the quote-unquote incident supposedly served his time. So brother and sister are both moving forward and keeping the family present. I absolutely agree. Good observation. And now again, I'm going to go back to sharing the screen. Maybe. Oh, I got to add it back since StreamYard kicked me out. All right. So quick analysis. Yes, this is describing how Phoebe is not only surviving but growing in her new environment. Until now, the house was depicted as unfriendly territory at best, but it now takes on an air of fertility and nourishment. And then we are told that Phoebe is noticeably developing into a woman. A strange claim when one considers that she has been at the house for only a matter of weeks, but one that is stressed nonetheless. Her emotional maturity is remarkable. She sings sad songs, but without any tragedy or self-pity, and she is more annoyed than fascinated with the pathos that surrounds Clifford. Granted, Phoebe arrived at the pension house with an air of natural vigor and determination, but in Chapter 9, these assets blossom into something more grounded and serious. While this makes Phoebe all the more admirable, it also casts a shadow of doubt on the melancholy that dyes the novel's every page. Phoebe's annoyance with Clifford's martyrdom may indicate that not everything in the House of the Seven Gables is as predestined as its owners have come to believe. I don't think I really picked up on her annoyance for him. I must have missed that. I just thought she but I can understand, tired, like, we get it. You're a victim, you went through all this. Let's, like, accept it, get through it, move through it, go through the emotions, but also move on. Clifford, unless she's the one who said all of that in the very end of chapter 10, like, "Hey, listen, you're an imbecile, you're old." I don't know who actually said that. If any of you do, if you could write it in chat. Um, Someone just basically read him for filth. Was like, "Dude, you're old. You're never gonna get anywhere. This is what you got. Be happy where you are." Um, so Clifford also grows, emerges as a half imbecile state. I don't really like that, but hey. He blossoms in a manner that is clearly linked to the garden he so adores. Bean vines are an obvious indicator of this growth, are they? I knew the beans stood for something, but I didn't know what. And they also come to stand for the more general revitalization of the House of the Seven Gables. The seeds were discovered buried in musty belongings of an old pensioned ancestor. They indicate that something good can come out of the corruption of the past. Interesting. The fact that they grow in the face of all expectations that they would fail, Hallgrave plants them more as an experiment than as a serious attempt at agriculture. It inserts hope into what has so far been a predominantly bleak narrative. We all like that narrative word, don't we? While the bean vines thrive, Clifford's own rejuvenation and spiritual rebirth are far from complete. It should be noted that as he extracts himself from an insanity or his insanity, he also begins to exhibit some less than likable penchant traits. Uh-oh. His disdain for his sister's face, that is pretty funny. Like, girl, I don't like your face. Go away. I don't like looking at you. There's nothing you can do about it. Get your face out of mine. I did find that quite humorous. Um, while the bean vines thrive, Clifford's own rejuvenation, we got that. It's cruel, but may be justifiable. So his disdain for his sister's face may be cruel, but justifiable given his penchant for all things beautiful. Yet his plans for Uncle Werner's future seemed strangely greedy, as do his grumblings that he is now he wants happiness. I don't understand how wanting happiness, but hey. Because Clifford has suffered through much, a somewhat vengeful spirit seems understandable, but some of his comments bear an eerie similarity to oh my gosh, I can't say that word. Avaricious remarks we might have expected to hear from Colonel Pynchon. Okay, I'm going back to chat. I'm taking this bad boy out. I have 3% more battery left. I really apologize. It just seems like today I locked my keys in my van. Very grateful that I was able to have the means to get a locksmith to come, but it took a little bit. Had a mom's parent coffee this morning. A room parent. I'm a room parent. Does this look like the face of a room parent? I'm going to bring some shenanigans. But the cool thing is, guys, I got a co-room parent. I think she's going to be my homegirl. She's like, yeah, I don't really do PTA stuff. I like to do as much without people around as possible. I think we're going to drink together. I think it's going to happen. I'll keep you guys updated. So, I completely lost my train of thought. Yeah, I had an eventful morning. Sorry if you just saw my pit sweat. There you go. You're welcome. I showed it to you again. It was a stressful morning. What can I say? Not so stressful as, having a family member come out of prison, stay at your house, complain a lot, be like, what was me? Uncle Venner, sorry, completely off track. Don't think my ADD medicine is working this morning. The farm that he keeps referring to, who thinks that's just referring to the afterlife? They're doing some construction nearby. I don't know if you can hear that. he keeps talking about it and everything he's doing, and once he gets there, and it's gonna be so great and lovely. I think he even mentions this time that it may not even come to pass, but Clifford, dude, you're not gonna wreck my dreams. It's gonna happen somehow, some way. Um, quit killing my vibe, dude. You can come to the farm, but if you're gonna be a jerk, I'm gonna take back your invitation. I'm gonna play with cows, ducks. I'm gonna, roll around in the field. I'm gonna do farm stuff, and I'm happy about it. So, like, if you don't want to come to my farm, don't rain on my parade. Don't step in the cow piles of my happiness. Because one day we're all going to die. And I'm inviting you to my San Juniper farm, Junipero, right? Black Mirror. Okay, I am down to 1%. This is probably going to cut off. I apologize. Next week, next Thursday, chapters. Thanks, Reagan. This is my normal train of thought talking to myself at home, so I just happen to be recording it right now. Oh, and keeping the darkness of the family. Oh, sorry. I don't know if we already showed that clear. I apologize. Next week, if this cuts out on me, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for participating in chat. Thank you for enduring my weirdness. Thank you for reading or listening along. I love sharing the love of literature with people, and I'm grateful that other people. Oh yes, and this Sunday, on Claire's channel, my channel, someone's channel, we'll let you know. We're going to go over White Christmas, the Black Mirror episode. And again, next Thursday, and that's at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Black Mirror. And next Thursday at 10 or 11, seeing if I can keep up with my keys, chapters 11 and 12 of the House of the Seven Gables. And it is my channel. So it'll be this Sunday on my channel. Thank you, Claire. All right, guys, I'm at 1%. I got to go. Be yourself and do good.